Well, Mbongeni Shabangu is the Director of Compliance and Enforcement at the Gauteng Liquor Board. He joins us now live. Mr. Shabangu, a very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us and a warm welcome to the Late Edition. First of all, let's start here. Some infants were amongst the victims of the latest shooting in Pretoria, meaning that their parents kept them at a time when such a tavern or place of alcohol should have been closed. What's your message to both parents and tavern owners?
Good evening, Mr. Nongwan, and good evening to the viewers. Firstly, we, as the Gauteng Liquor Board, are aware of this incident. When this came to public knowledge or information, the Gauteng Liquor Board engaged the SABC to gather information about the establishment where these activities, this incident actually happened. What we learned was that, one, the outlet is unlicensed, therefore they were trading in liquor illegally. Nonetheless, the death or loss of life at any establishment is a concern to us as an entity that regulates the space as well as the government. And it's even more worrying that children as young as 3, 4, 14 and 15 years of age were among actually the victims' fatalities. So the message is clear from us as a regulator, Gauteng Liquor Board. One, people should trade legally, because once you trade legally, you are then trained or informed about what you are expected to do in terms of compliance with the law, of which admitting minors at a liquor outlet is a contravention of the law and it's not permissible.
Now, Mr. Shabangu, just how serious is the problem of places that still sell alcohol, open or closing at the wrong times?
It is quite serious, and it is a huge concern. As we speak as a Gauteng Liquor Board, we have a number of hearings that are lined up regarding liquor outlets that were found trading beyond 2 a.m. If we may share with the viewers, the trading hours in Gauteng, we have trading hours for off-consumption, that is your takeaways. The trading hours for takeaways are from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m., Monday to Saturday, and 9:30 in the morning till 3:30 on Sundays. For on-consumption, every day in public holidays, it's 10 a.m. until 2 a.m. So an outlet that goes beyond 2 a.m. is contravening the law, and the Gauteng Liquor Board has got hearings that are lined up where those people are going to be held before the board, and when found guilty, they face a number of sanctions, including having their licenses cancelled or a fine up to 200,000 rands. So it is quite a serious problem that we are grappling with, particularly during this season, which is the Christmas season.
Do you, as the liquor boards, engage these retailers to warn them about such malpractices?
Yes, the Gauteng Liquor Board has a number of training or workshops that we conduct. For every person that is issued with a liquor license, the Liquor Board would conduct workshops throughout the 5 corridors of Gauteng, which is your Johannesburg, Ekurhuleni, Tshwane, Citibank, and Westland. We do have regular training workshops, and we also train law enforcement officers, your municipal or metro police, and the South African Police Service, and the municipalities.
Now, you also have the police policing these entities, isn't it? Are they doing enough?
Yes, SABC are doing enough. I think we cannot sit and say they're not doing enough. The only problem, like is the case with this one, this occurred at an unlicensed outlet. And you appreciate that there are areas like the informal settlements and your hostels where access is a problem, and it makes it difficult because of the congested nature. And some people who are gatekeepers in these areas not allowing law enforcement. Yes, SABC is doing enough, and they are our partners in addressing issues of non-compliance and liquor outlets.
Now, the fact that children as young as 3, 12 and 16 were among the victims raises a deeply uncomfortable question. How have we normalized the presence of children in alcohol serving spaces at 4 in the morning? And who must ultimately be held accountable for that?
Thank you for raising that question. As indicated, the laws, including Gauteng and throughout the Republic, they prohibit the access or admission of minors. A minor is anyone who is below the age of 18 years. So admitting them or keeping them at a liquor outlet becomes an offense to the trader. In this regard, it's even baffling that you have parents who take their children to a liquor outlet, and when children should be asleep, children are still with their parents at liquor outlets. It's not about keeping them only at liquor outlets. It's also about minors who are at times sold and supplied actually alcohol. You have liquor traders who use their minor children to sell and supply liquor. But the most common one we're dealing with in South Africa and Gauteng in this regard is where, as parents, we send our children to go and buy alcohol for liquor outlets. That is unlawful and it is an offense, and we should condemn such as, not just as government, but also as the community, as residents, and should report people who engage in such activities to the law enforcement.
And when last were meaningful inspections conducted in this particular area, and what were the outcomes?
Our inspectors, if I may share, we have plus minus 35,000 liquor outlets that are trading legally in Gauteng. And as a government, we are quite aware that the number of illegal outlets far outweigh those that are trading with licenses. Therefore, we have a target to conduct not less than 26,000 inspections. So throughout the province, we conduct regular inspections. As we had said earlier, Mr. Mbongeni, in this regard, you have areas that are difficult, but we work with law enforcement. So inspections are conducted regularly. That is Monday to Friday by officials. We work also with the law enforcement as part of Operation Chanela, Operation Buyumtet, and other operations that are conducted by the municipalities to ensure that all liquor outlets are inspected as and when actually we conduct our responsibilities. But we also prioritize problematic liquor outlets like the ones actually that would be reported regularly in the media. So inspections are conducted daily and regularly.
Since we've already touched on, the role of law enforcement agencies and, the bylaws and the implementation of such bylaws, so what concrete action now follows this massacre? Because South Africans are now tired of investigations that end in nothing but reports and promises.
The Premier of Gauteng made an announcement that was in 2023, May, that things have to change in Gauteng. It's not going to be business as usual, where a pledge was signed by government, law enforcement, civil society, and the liquor traders to commit to putting people's lives, issues of compliance and safety at liquor outlets before profits. Since that actually pledge, we are seeing actually differences. Nonetheless, you do get these areas where this happens, and government has no option but to ensure that we enforce the law, and we are going to ensure that we assert the authority of the state and enforce the law where it's required. That is why we are saying that in the past 3 years, the number of licenses that have been revoked or cancelled is increasing. We revoked licenses as recently as last week of outlets that are not complying with the law. We are therefore seeking to anyone who's trading in liquor where they are failing to comply with the law, where they are failing to ensure the safety of their clients, the government will not hesitate to act and ensure that the law is complied with, including cancelling a liquor license. And we know it, the breadwinners, it's used as a tool for breadwinners, but you cannot use the excuse of providing for your family, the excuse of being in business, the excuse of suffering to sacrifice the lives of innocent actual citizens.
Absolutely.
We are going to act harshly as a government, and in this matter, we are going to work with the police where necessary, and even go as far as providing testimony in court that this outlet was not licensed.
All right, Mr. Mbongeni Shabangu, great chatting to you. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us this evening.
You're most welcome, and thanks for having us.
Thank you. Well, that was Mbongeni Shabangu. He's the Director of Compliance and Enforcement at the Gauteng Liquor Board. He was just taking us through the safety and the compliance at liquor outlets following the gunning down of 12 people at a tavern in Pretoria.